What's going on, guys? It's Steve. This is gonna be a real boy, oh boy. This is gonna be a real heart-to-heart video because I'm very, very upset with the way my New York Knicks turned out. So I was at a barbecue for Father's Day, and while I'm supposed to be spending time with my grandfather, because you guys know my father's in prison and he was never in my life, so my grandfather's my father. Not literally, that would be kind of nasty, but figuratively, that's besides the point. Whatever. I'm at this Father's Day barbecue, and my dumbass is, instead of spending time with people, I'm sitting there zoned out thinking about what the New York Knicks could have been. And I'm going to blame every single person that had anything to do with the New York Knicks. Let's first start off with, I hate to do this. Let's start off with Carmelo Anthony. Look, in 2011, if Carmelo Anthony did not force that trade, if he didn't force that trade, he could have had Amari, Al Harrington, Wilson Chandler, and a lot of other players. A great supporting cast. But he forced the trade, so the blame for that part goes to Melo. Even though Melo's the best player to ever play for the New York Knicks, let's not stop speaking like you have a freaking speech impediment and talk. Let's not forget that Melo is the greatest Knick to ever play. Now let's go to the real person to blame. I'm just trying to get my frustration out. I'm venting to you guys. Phil Jackson. 2014 comes. We get Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson says, Melo, we want to build around you. You're going to be the leader of this championship team. I'm going to bring you titles and all this other crap that you could ever wish for. But what happened? He trades JR. He trades Amon. Amari Stoudemire can't stay healthy. Time goes by. 2014-15. We get nobody. 2015-16. We get nobody. And then 2016 free agency, we get Derrick Rose. A great pickup. He may not be MVP Rose because he does not have the athletic ability anymore, but he used to rely on it because that's what he relies on to score, but he still has a quick first step. And he can still score. I mean, the dude's averaging, 16 points per game? Still a solid player. We draft Kristaps Porzingis. Everyone hated it at the time, including myself, but look how he turned out to be a solid player. He ain't no damn superstar. He ain't better than Melo, but he's a pretty solid player. Now, oh boy. Do you guys remember, after the first game against the Cleveland Cavaliers, what did I tell you guys? I said, and I quote, this guy, Jeff Hornacek, does not know how to coach. His rotations are questionable. And from what I'm seeing, he lacks common sense. People said, Steve, what are you talking about? It's just one game. Give the guy a chance. We lose to the Utah Jazz, I believe, the next game or the game after, whatever. Early in the season, we lose to the Utah Jazz. We were up, he benched Melo, and he continued to bench Melo when they came back and we're within 2, and he's still benching Melo, and he puts Melo back in when we're down 12 or something crazy like that. Look, why in the actual F-U, you know what? There's 2 other letters there. I'm not saying F-U to you guys. How the hell do you give Melo a good, solid team, but you give him a coach that doesn't even know what the hell he is doing? You gave us Jeff Hornacek. What did you expect to happen? The dude's rotations are the most absolute garbage that I have ever seen in my entire basketball career. I have never seen more garbage coaching in my entire life. never have I ever seen for the third time this garbage of coaching in my entire life. If you guys don't know, let me tell you what he would do. So let's say we're starting the second half. Okay? Players are warming up from their break at halftime. We're about to start the second half. He plays Melo. He takes Melo out with like 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Let's say the Knicks are up by 7. Okay? Let's skip to the fourth quarter. Let's say the Knicks are only up by 3 now. 5 minutes go by, the Knicks are down by 2. You would assume with 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, your best player would come back on the floor. But what does he do? He waits until the 5-minute mark in the fourth quarter, resting Melo more than 10 minutes. Keep in mind, this is more than 10 in-game minutes. Let's not even count timeouts and official timeouts and commercial breaks and all this other nonsense. Let's not even forget all of that. So you're resting Melo, allowing him to get cold, to bring him in with 5 minutes left. And now that you waited so long, the Knicks are already down by 12. They're down by 14. And then he expects Melo to come in the game and turn the game around while we're down by 12. And then the funny thing is, when he puts Melo in, he takes KP out, and it's the fourth quarter. With 5 minutes left, why are the best players not on the floor? Why is Derrick Rose not on the floor? Why is Courtney Lee not on the floor? Why is Carmelo Anthony not on the floor? Why is Kristaps Porzingis not on the floor? Why is No. You see what I did there? But I'm a freaking genius, dude. I think of these puns and these jokes while I'm making these videos. I don't write anything down. I don't pre-think my videos. I turn the mic on, and whatever the hell comes to mind, comes to mind. But right now, I'm in disbelief. How in the actual you know what? Again, I'm not cursing you guys out. There's 2 more letters behind the FU. How in the hell does this happen with the New York Knicks? Now, you guys, most people think, oh, it's just, it didn't work out with Melo. We'll move on. Right. You want to know why we won't move on? As long as Phil Jackson stays the GM of the New York Knicks, no NBA superstar will ever want to play for the Knicks again unless he gets drafted to the Knicks. Do you want to know the odds of drafting an NBA superstar? Let's go through the odds. There are 30 NBA teams. Not every single team gets a draft pick, but let's assume every single team does. Or maybe they do. I don't care. Whatever. 30 NBA teams. Let's look at 2003. 4 out of the 30 teams got an NBA superstar in 2003. 1996, I would say around 5 superstars out of 30. Now keep in mind that superstars aren't drafted every year. We have garbage drafts sometimes. So the chances of us drafting someone are very slim. But you have to think, why would anyone want to come to the New York Knicks if Phil Jackson treated the greatest New York Knick of all time? I don't care if you think it's Walt Clyde Frazier. I don't care if you think it's Bernard King or Patrick Ewing. In my opinion, Melo is the greatest Knick of all time. I watched every single damn Knick game for the past almost 11 years now. And I've seen hardwood classics on MSG. You guys don't know this because a lot of you guys aren't from New York, but if you are, there's a channel called MSG. It's the Madison Square Garden channel. And all day, especially right in the preseason, right before the season starts, during training camps, they have something that's called Knicks in 60. What do? They show historic games, like when Patrick Ewing blew a wide-open layup against the Indiana Pacers. But that's besides the point. Or when Spike Lee made us lose because of Reggie Miller, but whatever. The point is that why would anyone want to come to the New York Knicks if Phil Jackson treated Melo, who was the greatest Knick ever, or regardless of if he's the greatest, not one of the greatest Knicks ever, the way that he treated him? Why would anyone want to come here? And it's not even just a bad look on Phil Jackson. It's a bad look on James Dolan. You're allowing your GM to disrespect one of the greatest players the Knicks have ever had. Congratulations. You think Kristaps Porzingis is going to stay? KP already came out and said, why is Phil Jackson treating Melo like this? Why is this being allowed? Adam Silver came out and spoke about it. What is it? The CBA came out and spoke about it. I mean, come on, man. Oh my, I can't, dude. At the end of the day, this Knicks team, unless they draft a certain player by the name of Stephen Pope out of Brooklyn, New York, who currently goes to a college in St. Augustine, Florida, unless they draft him, the future of the Knicks is uncertain, because I know for a fact Stephen Pope's going to stay with the Knicks his entire career. But besides that, honestly, the Knicks have no future, they have no present, and they have no past. It's been your man Steve. This is the sad life of a New York Knicks fan. This is what I have to go through. And yes, I'm a real Knicks fan. I will always be a Knicks fan. I will never be a fan of any other team. Unless Carmelo Anthony goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'll leave it off that. Anyway, just kidding. I'm obviously going to support Melo when he goes to Cleveland, but I'm still going to be a Knicks fan. Knicks till I die. Anyway, I'm out. Bye.